Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Through Black and White Eyes, the only channel to be at when you want to listen to what happened at the weekend, because we have got some unbelievable stuff for you lined up, and hopefully some transfer news. Fingers crossed. I'm still waiting for a message, though, which is a bit of a pain. But there is news, obviously, about John Joe Shelby and stuff like that, so we'll come to it later on in the show. But first of all, let's bring the guys in. Hello, everyone. There
all
we
right.
Go. Right, War Flags smashed it out the park again, didn't they? It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. I shouldn't sing, but we're feeling good. I mean, they keep doing it. How do they keep coming up with stuff like this, Lindsay? It's just unbelievable.
They're just geniuses, aren't they? I think it's because they're fans, because they're just like all of us. They're just extraordinary fans, and they're just, they get it. They know how we're all feeling. And I think it's absolutely perfect, to be honest.
Well, it's a great message, isn't it? Especially for the first game of the season, Mauro. It's a great banner to put up.
It's amazing, really, and everything they do. It's really one of the best fan groups and banner groups I ever saw in any stadium.
Yeah. Gary, I believe you can set up a membership to pay them monthly to help them out. I used to have a look into that.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
saw it. Lindsay's popped in twice. She's obviously frozen and back in again. There we go. It's better.
Yeah, I don't know what it did there. It's my girlfriend's computer, and I don't know how it works most of the time. So
that's brilliant. Right, let's see.
Had a Mauro.
Had a Mauro, yeah. I love it. Right, let's see who's in the chat. There's the link pinned to the top of the chat. If anyone wants to become a member, like I said, please read the description of what you get for what membership band that you decide to choose if you decide to become a member, because we do prizes and stuff like that. Good evening, everyone, and chatters. Evening, everyone. Great start to the season. It really was. Good evening, guys. Mark, going to throw this straight out there. Eddie is looking in a small pool of players to sign that is getting smaller realistically, guys. What striker could we be looking at? Well, look, we'll talk about that at the end of the show, but we want to talk about the game first. Roy's in the house again. Absolutely amazing. 50 Corona. Thank you so much, pal. It's nearly every show. Get yourself on one. It'd be good to hear your thoughts. Hi all. Remember to keep comments respectful. Please no caps or duplicate comments. Thanks for modern Cesare. It's nice to see you. And hi all. Hello, Baz. The Newcastle sign's been sent out yet? Nope, they haven't. Steve was away at the weekend. I've asked for an update from him, but we did say within 2 weeks from Saturday of when they will be delivered. He's got to pick them up from the powdered quarters, and then they'll be sent out. And we've still got maybe 2 left to sell now. Someone's messaged me about one, but he hasn't paid yet, so it's either 2 or 3. So if you would like a sign, please contact me. How good are War Flags? They're amazing. Surely the envy of every English football club. Someone tried to throw out on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. The flags were nice and pretty, but now it's time to move on from them. There was obviously another fan from another club trying to fish for. Yeah, I think he was a Leeds fan or a Palace fan. I can't remember. Yeah, he's friends with Steve, so that says everything. South Coast Palace Steve, that one. Yeah, you know who I mean now.
I know who you're on about.
Always fishing. Always fishing.
He makes me laugh. He does.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's such a good lad. He'll be on tomorrow night for the Premier League review show, but his Twitter account always gets suspended.
What was the one with the women's Euros he got suspended for?
Yes, the 3 irons on the
3 irons instead of the 3 lions.
And loads of people tweeted that out as well. It's just people who don't like certain accounts. It just, at the end of the day, it's a bit of a laugh. I can see why people might get upset by it, because what the women achieved was fantastic. But you've got to be able to have a laugh. It's
just a bit of fun, isn't it? You know, you've got to have a bit of satire in life, haven't you?
Exactly. Life would be boring.
You can't have fun these days, man.
No. Fun police.
If you're having fun, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
No. Exactly.
I love it. Another sad moment at St James's Park, though. Derek Wright obviously retiring. It was nice to see him pick up a shirt and be paraded on the pitch before kickoff. Derek Wright had been at the club for many, many years, never lost a race. He was an absolute fantastic physio, and we wish him a happy retirement. But again, another thing I want to point out, Gary, is that wouldn't have happened under Mike Ashley.
Oh, no. Well, look what happened to Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
He was the ultimate legend. He's not going to day out about a physio, is he? Mind, if he was carrying a sports direct, well, he might do something about it. But
that's probably what he got for his retirement present from Mike Ashley, wouldn't it?
I think what they should have done was they should have got Derek at the end of the pitch and maybe got Usain Bolt out there and take a sprinting event at the end. But
Derek would have won.
That's what I remember about Derek over the years, coming on and beating into that physio to the player. It was great.
There was so many
Legend.
times. And it used to be, I used to always tap my dad like, Dad, look, there's a race. It's going to happen. It's coming.
Sometimes it was the most entertaining thing in the match.
It was, yeah.
Watching Derek get in the player. Legend.
I love this story from Warren Barton. Remember Morrow about Derek, about how, Les Ferdinand used to say, I'm going to go down in the corner in the 89th minute and get Derek to run all the way and then jump back on my feet and say, that's all right, you can go off now. It was brilliant. Morrow, it is, isn't it? I love Derek, right? He was brilliant. Right, let's talk about football. Football!
Yeah, I'm so happy it's back.
I know.
I've been so lost.
I'm quite lucky because my partner's a big York City fan, so she understands football, or she thinks she understands football because she's a York City fan. Not because she's a woman, because she's a York City fan. She can probably hear me now. I'm going to get a slap after this show. But I am quite lucky. I get to watch all the football I want if I want to. And it's just so good to have it back. Even both of us have been like, there's no football. It's like, and now it's back. It's like, yes, this is how we lined up. So was anyone surprised at any of the inclusions or disclusions? I mean, the only sorry, Claire's just sent me a message and it's popped up because it's on the on my iPhone and also on the Mac, and it's basically put, yes, you are lucky. Doesn't say I'm not going to get a slap though, which means I might have got away with that. But Nick Pope obviously in goal, Trippier, Shaw, Byrne, Target, Bruno Guimaraes, Willock, Jolinton, Miggy, St. Maximin, and Wilson. I called the team apart from one, Botman. Lindsay, were you surprised to see Shaw and Byrne partner at the start of the season?
Not really. I think Eddie would have wanted Botman to do what Bruno got the chance to do, really, just sit and soak in the sold-out atmosphere of a Premier League game, because even the most unshakable of us, it can move you to tears, can't it, at times?
I think we're a bit more biased on that, though. But I mean, Gary, he got to soak up the atmosphere in a pre-friendly game, which was almost sold out. Yeah. He's had a full pre-season, unlike what Bruno did, because he came in January. That was the one thing that said to me that he would be thrown straight into the team, because he's had a pre-season. He's got used to the team, the tactics, the players around him. I was a little surprised.
I was. But then I thought he's just done exactly what he did with Bruno.
Yeah.
I think, the difference, though, with him and Bruno is I think Bruno had a better chance of getting into that midfield. Byrne and Shaw is tough to get into.
I agree.
He's coming in. He's coming in, though. We know he's coming in at some point. He's not. The other bloke's not going to get back in. We know that. It's going to happen soon. But he's just doing, Eddie, I was just doing what he's doing. He's basically done exactly the same with
Dan Byrne as well. He put a shift in.
Oh, he did.
Against
he was
Forest.
fantastic.
He was fantastic. You know, he's fighting for his place. So who knows what Eddie's going to do? He's going to make Botman really work for it. I don't know. But it's good that there's such good competition.
It is, yeah. It's what you need if you want to be forcing yourself up the league, because injuries do happen, as we know.
Has Dan Byrne or Botman ever played left back?
Dan Byrne has for Brighton. So there is the option of that as well, but no one's moving Target out of that position either, are they? So
no,
this is why the defence is so solid. This is the best group of defenders I have seen ever at this football club.
Well, I asked a Man United fan, who would he take out that back line? He said he'd take the man.
Yeah, well, there you are. That says a lot, doesn't it?
He says at this moment in time he would take every one of them.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'm thinking of the Man United back line, and to be honest with you, there's not one I would particularly want. Maybe take the Cells out of the squad and put Varane in as a backup, but that's the only one.
Yeah, he was going on
Gea?
about he was going on about the lineup yesterday. I mean, I know we're talking about Man United here, but I wasn't impressed with that new bloke at the back either. I thought he was bloody hopeless. Martinez or whatever he's called.
I never got to watch the game, so.
Oh, I was at Flamingo Land, and even I got to watch the game.
I was at work though doing night shift, so I was in bed.
I'll let you off then.
Thank you. I like to use that excuse a lot. Mauro, what about your thoughts on Botman not starting? Were you surprised, or were you down the same line as Lindsay and what Gary then came on to, that he's rewarding those two players at the back for being so consistent in the last 6 months? It's a bit harsh to drop them. I get that. I just think it's Botman.
Yeah, I get it too. I was expecting him to start, to be honest, because he did, as you said, he did pass it through full preseason, all the games and everything. But those all back four were really amazing, and you can fault any of them. And it's probably will need 1 or 2 games for Eddie to let him in to soak the atmosphere and everything.
Yeah, I get it. It's just a record signing, really, isn't he? I suppose. So up there with Bruno, I just think get him in the team. He's just. I would like to have seen him come on quite early in the second half.
Yeah.
And it would have been a tactical change for me, and it probably would have been Burn coming off. And the reason why I said it on the stream was that Botman has a better passing range. And could you imagine Botman and Shaw with their passing range in the second half when it was 0-0, thinking about breaking the lines faster? That would have been a change I would have liked to have seen happen, but it didn't, and we still won the game, so that's the main thing. That is a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Lee Charney getting himself back into work again. Poor Forest. I know, they get beat and then they get Lee Charney after they leave Newcastle. What the hell they're playing at? That's the worst thing ever.
Poor buggers, honestly.
Mark, that's harsh. I like York City.
You never know. Mike Ashley might put a bid in for them soon enough.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Would you imagine?
Mark was surprised as well. I'm from Scarborough, and there's a big rivalry between the Sea Dogs and York. Yeah, York. I didn't even know that, to be honest with you. Otherwise, a big up to your panel in the chat. Thanks for joining, Brian. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Surely you'd have Maguire back.
No.
Spent 80 million on Maguire, and we bought a whole new defence for the same price. Use the middle finger, Mauro, when they start that. Start what? Have I missed a private joke, Mauro?
Not sure I get
it. Don't be surprised if we go free at the back and pushing our full back up the pitch as wing backs. I don't think we will. I think he's set on the 4-3-3. But you never know. He might he will change it for games like against Chelsea, like he did last season at Stamford Bridge. He will do it against Liverpool. He will do it against Man City. But I think 4-3-3 is very much set on trying to play the Liverpool way, I guess, is the way, high press and winning the ball high and all that sort of stuff. Yes, I've heard about that, Emma, but I don't think the Derby's going anywhere after his comments. And Arsenal aren't in the Champions League either, so Botman will get his chance. I know. I totally get why he's doing it. It's just Botman.
I know. We all wanted to, didn't we?
Exactly.
Oh.
It's just like,
funny story. When I was in the pub before the match, my friend got the lineup on BBC Sport, and it had everybody back to front. Like,
yes, it did. Yeah.
Target as the centre back, and I was looking at this lineup thinking, has Eddie had a seizure or something? What's going on? I was like, what is he doing?
Yeah, you had Joe Linton up front. You had ASM sitting in the midfield or something like that as well.
I was just like, what's going on with this lineup? I was like, oh, the ghost of Steve Bruce is back or something. Something's going on. And then they fixed it, so it was okay.
Well, Sky got it right straight away, to be fair. Yeah. But, Caitlin, hey, Baz and Co, everyone in the chat. I think Nick predicted the score right, didn't he? 2-0. And I think Caitlin said 2-1. Hello, Baz and Co. And we've got Botman, the Yanks have Mammoth Man. Mothman.
Mothman.
I love it. To be fair, though, the scrum down the road won. So
I know.
they've actually
started
the
perfect weekend. Almost.
I know. they've started quite well. They were drawing a win, to be fair, and they could have won the game they drew. So
Yeah, they'll drop off.
yeah. I think they meant Morrow should use the middle finger when someone mentions he has a Morrow. Oh, right. Yeah, no, I get it. Right. I get it. Right, let's have a little look at some of the action. We don't have videos, but we have stills. So obviously this was the first big chance of the game. Joe Linton powering through from midfield, 30-yard run, went past 3 of them. Should he have squared it, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think he should have, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking that myself when he took the shot, but I mean, it was a good run from him on his part, you know, and you can see the progress he's making and the confidence is just shining through at the minute.
Without a doubt.
Big Joe. I just love him.
I know. The reason why I say square it is the defender's committing himself to diving in there. So that just leaves Willett completely on his own to tap it in, really. But Joe Linton, as you can see, he's already made his decision. He is going to shoot. But it's that final bit of intelligence in the box, Gary, that would seem to be lacking. And we're going to show a few more stills through the game because it happened a couple of times. That if he just squares that, we could have had 5 on Saturday.
You know what it is, looking at it where he is, if that had been Bruno, he would have squared it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, if it had been Wilson, he would have shot.
Yeah.
So
striker instinct.
It's a striker instinct. And Joe Linton is previously been a striker. So
a pretend striker.
Yeah, pretend. But the way he ran through, I'm not surprised he shot, to be honest. It could have been a bloody goal of the season contender the way he went.
We could have had 3 of them.
So it's I think, like I said, Bruno would have squared it, but most people would have shot there.
It's a shame he scuffed it. He doesn't look like he's got his right body angle, does he, to get it on target? I mean, at the end of the day,
what he's trying to do, he's going for the low-driven power shot. You know, it's just his precision that he needs to get a bit.
Yeah.
You know, a bit better. He's quite wide with it, but I'm hoping as the season progresses, he's going to get sharper. He's going to get better because he is putting a lot of work in.
Oh, he was fantastic yesterday. We're going to talk about him in detail a bit later on. But Morrow, there's another thing I see again, because I used to play as a number 10, or I used to try to play as a number 10. I would have squared it because I'm a big Peter Beardsley fan and I always played how he played. But if I was going to shoot, I wouldn't have went for the bottom left. I would have waited for the defender to commit himself, and I would have tried to slot it under his legs into the far right hand corner. That's how I would have finished it personally. Am I wrong?
No, I think
Go on.
I would probably go for the same. I was number 9 at the high school. Even one year, I was the first scorer of the tournament, and it was an amazing run, but it was a terrible shot, and he came so close. So that's what you. When Big Joe goes and runs like that, that's what you get excited and you get nervous at the same time. I think there's sound issues, something.
It's freezing a couple of times. Don't worry about it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he hasn't quite got the body language to put that in the bottom left-hand corner because he's cutting across his left foot. That's why I think if he tries to slot it under the sliding defender into the far right-hand corner, he's got a better chance of scoring. The goalkeeper's going to see it a bit late. He's not going to save it. And he just dragged it.
Definitely.
Shearer would have absolutely rifled it.
Oh, he would have leveled it, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Top corner.
To be fair, most of the time I just just smash it. Like Mickey's shot, you know, when he was so close. And I was just saying, he should have just smashed it. Shearer would have smashed it.
That's what we say about everything these days, don't we? Shearer would have done that. The next big chance in the first half wasn't really a massive chance in my eyes, and Chris Wood got criticised a lot last season with these kind of chances because it's on his head, or he should be scoring, he shouldn't be scoring. But that ball was looped into the box, and as you can see, Wilson's in front of the ball. So when it comes to him, he's having to generate all the power and get the direction in right. The one thing I said on stream, and I don't know whether you guys would agree, but I would have took another step back and tried to bring that down on my feet because the defender's the wrong side of him. There's no one behind him. He's got a chance of bringing that down and dragging it, dragging it with him to then get away from the defender, then get his shot in. The header was tame. It didn't really threaten the goalkeeper at all. Would you put that down as a big chance, Lindsay? And do you agree with maybe bringing it down?
Yeah, I mean, because Wilson, we know what quick feet he's got, how quick he can turn and move, so it would have made sense that the defender wouldn't have expected him to quickly bring it down and do a quick turn. He'd be able to quickly get his body over the ball, and then at least, again, just hoof it.
Just shear it.
Smash it in the back of the net.
I love it. Morrow being a number 9, do you think the header was the right call, or do you think if you realised he had a bit more time, maybe he doesn't know really what's behind him, but looking at the still, there's nothing behind him. So do you think maybe bringing it down and getting a snapshot off quicker would have been a better decision?
Maybe at that situation, or if he did have more time, he would probably, as you said, take a step back and be in a better position to shoot with the head. But it's just slip second sometimes. You can't get it good always.
Yeah, I mean, stills, you've got all the time in the world to look at the situation, Gary, but when you're actually live and playing, that ball comes in the box, he's only got a second really to decide what he's doing.
I think it just depends on the type of striker again. Would Shearer, Duncan Ferguson, somebody like that have put it in with a head?
I think Ferguson would have with his height. I think Shearer might have struggled a little bit to get the power on it.
Sorry, I'm just changing the subject here. Saw at Watford.
Yeah.
He's just scored an absolute worldie from the halfway line.
From the halfway line?
Halfway line. He's just belted it. Steve Bruce. Because they're playing West Brom. He's literally worldied it, honestly. Unbelievable. Anyway, I think, he probably should have just took it down, but I don't know. It's just one of those, isn't it?
It is.
Can we do? Like I said, Ferguson or Shearer could have put it in, but he made up for it with his goal, didn't he?
He did. The next little bit of action was actually Forest. It was a good little bit of play, this one, because it was a lovely through ball to Jesse Lingard, which I think was one of his only touches of the game. But how good was Shaw, Morrow, getting across and blocking that effort? It did fall to the Forest player behind him to then have a strike, and it went well wide. But the pass, which cut out 4 defenders into Jesse's feet, was excellent. The shot was probably on target, but Shaw was just absolutely amazing to make that ground and block it.
Yeah, it was an amazing tackle and amazing pass before that for them, but really top time tackle at the right time.
Yeah, definitely at the right time. Lindsay, obviously proven why Shaw should be in the team.
Oh, he's been phenomenal. You cannot fault him, and that he's just what a screamer as well that he scored, but he's unreal. Like, he pretty much, I think he might have frightened Jesse Lingard off a little bit. It was like, boom, welcome to your first start back in the Premier League, make a TikTok video about that.
Well, I read a brilliant thing on Facebook, and someone has got Steve Cooper with his arm around Jesse. It's just like, I know what you're thinking, Jesse. You should have went to these lot, but think about it. They've got Bruno. You're not taking his place. They've got that brick, Joe Linton. You've got no chance of getting in that midfield 3. So just forget about it. Let's make a TikTok video and let's move on to the next game.
There we go.
Absolutely.
Have you seen the clip going around of him in his dressing gown with his hair all messy, sulking, talking about not sulking because they lost? It's ridiculous. You'll have to try and look at it. It's the most ridiculous. I saw it before and I was like, he's actually talking about not sulking while he's literally sulking in his dressing gown. He's so unkempt. He's like,
I mean, it's funny though, because he's he's doing what he does best, isn't he, with his TikTok, to be fair. And he's just taking the mick a little bit with that, isn't he?
I think he's doing it now because everyone hates it. So the more people who hate it, the more he's going to do it, really. I'm just ignoring him.
I love it. My dad says he's watching the podcast. Watson, Howie, Albert, Beresford, surely as good, if not better. Maybe. But what I'm talking about is the collective defense that we have, including the backups, because after that there was no backup really, was there, for Newcastle?
I've got one for you. If that back line had been in the 96 side, would we have won the title?
The one we've got now?
Yes. If you'd replaced that back line in 96 and put that back line we've got now, and you had Shearer, Ginola, Batty, the whole lot, Ferdinand, I think they would have won the title.
Oh, it's a good one. Do you know there's one player that I would take out of the back five that we have now and put it into that team, and I think they'll still win the league? Pope.
Pope.
Because as good as Xhaka was, Pope's a better goalkeeper. And I think he would have settled the ship a little bit better.
Our main issue during the Keegan time was the defence.
Yeah.
It shipped too many goals. And I don't think this lot would ship that many goals. So that's why I think it'd be interesting.
There we are. Jim said the same thing there in a chat message quite early there. Bottom right, Joe Linton. Why was Muggy scared to shoot when he was in good positions? It's had Miggy, obviously. Smash the top right. Keeper's weight is to his left. Top right. I mean, top right defender may have got in the way. That's why I think under his legs and under him. No way he squares it. He should have brought the net after a great run. He should have, but Peter Beardsley would have squared it. I would have squared it, because at the end of the day, I've always played football in a way that it's a team game. It's not for personal records. And if someone's in a better position to tap it in, I'd rather give it to them.
It's the type of player. Foden would pass it. Gerrard would hit it. It's just the type of player.
Yeah. It's the confidence as well.
Have more of an attacking mindset, doesn't he? You know, whereas Bruno's more the passes. Joe Linton has regard. You know, when he was, he could play on your left wing and he could play on your right wing. He can play as a 9, even though he's not the best, but he could play those positions. And even as a midfielder, he's always trying to win possession back and then driving that ball back up the field. He's got a very goal-driven mindset.
He has. No, I agree. Because he did play number 9 for too long for us.
He tried.
He tried. Exactly. He always tried. We will never get another Shearer 100 years. No, we won't. Dad here, Watson, Harry, Albert, Beresford, just as good. But Dad, if you're going to put a chat in, don't send us a message as well. Come on. we get to the messages when we get to them. So rude. Right, so that was the Jesse Lingard conversation out the way with. He was crap, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Good riddance. Right, I want to highlight this one because he did it twice, to be fair, in the game, and for some reason the highlights have only showed the one effort. Bruno's pass there, Miggy's run on the back of the defender is so intelligent, but the ball was just weighted perfectly. I think he hit the post from this. I think the keeper got a hand on it.
He did.
It actually hit the post.
It hit the post, yeah.
Exactly. Another day that goes in the back of the net, and everyone's like thinking, oh, well, maybe Miggy's turned a corner. I thought Miggy Almiron was excellent on Saturday. Not just his attacking, runs, but it was his defensive side of things as well. How fast he was to press, how high we won the ball up so many times. But this epitomizes everything that I want to see this season. Miggy making those runs on the back of defenders, Bruno threading the ball through like an eye of a needle, Mauro. That combination is starting to look very good, and maybe Miggy's finally found someone who understands his game and can find those runs.
Hopefully he was great in pre-season. Lacked his finishing touch a bit on Saturday, but what a player we have in Bruno! It's really amazing, and he looks it so effortlessly. Just out of the blue, he sends us player splitting pass between two players. Amazing, really. Let's hope Bruno can get the best Almiron.
Yeah, I think just on that one performance and also pre-season, it is showing that, Gary, that they do now have a relationship, a bit like the Paqueta and Bruno sort of relationship. I know it's nowhere near that level, but I'm seeing, glimpses of that kind of relationship forming.
Yeah, do you know what it is? It's when you play together, often your relationship grows, doesn't it? It's well known. But Bruno, do you know what it is? I'm lost for words, man. Honestly, you know what I think of Bruno? He's the best player I have seen in a black and white shirt since Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
Absolute genius, that man. But according to Craig Hope, he's a 7 out of 10. But never mind.
his ratings were shocking from the game.
I mean,
it was laughable.
If
You had
Bruno's
to
a
just
7,
laugh, couldn't you?
if
That's all you
Bruno's a
could do.
7, what are the rest? Like, seriously, what are the rest? I mean, a 7. I'll tell you what, that makes the Man United players a -2.
Brilliant.
27. But you know what it is? Bruno's going to... Can you imagine if we had, like, nothing against Miggy here, but can you imagine if I had a Diaby run onto there?
Yeah, no, I get that. I get the argument that Miggy in the future won't be good enough. The problem we've got, and if you've read the thread that I put into the group and also retweeted, FFP is a massive problem. I still think this season is a consolidation season, getting into the top 10, and then next summer with sponsorships, blah, 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 we're going to push on. So we've got to support the players we've got now. Miggy, yes, he won't win us titles, but in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, we will see only maybe a quarter of the squad still in the team. So progression will happen, but we've just got to work with what we've got. And Lindsay, I think Miggy is showing his international form a bit more with us now, because his international form is excellent. There is a player there. Yeah.
Brilliant. He's fantastic. I mean, I saw that shot because I sit Leeds East. I saw that shot up close and personal, the ball through from Bruno, Miggy running on it. And when it was saved and it went wide, you could see he was genuinely annoyed with himself. Like, he was gutted because he knew. I think he knew that he just needed to maybe just give it a bit more oomph. He tried to go for the finesse one. Really, he could have just whacked it. Yeah. He could have got a bit of power on it and just, bent it. And I think he knew when he was bent over the thing, but he's phenomenal. He's absolutely unbelievable. Like, his work rate is brilliant. He's sharp. Him and I've already said before as well, him and Trippier, the way they combine on that right, if we see combinations like we did between them two in the Premier League, like what we saw against Benfica, we don't even need a winger. Like, if we could see that kind of form, we don't need it. We've already got that connection with Miggy and Trips, Trippier
and
with
then
his
Bruno in there as well with the triangle.
Bruno it's just, I think, given a bit of time, with confidence and time, I think players like Miggy are really going to flourish. I think I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. No, I really don't. I think the best is yet to come of Miggy Almiron. I
agree, and everyone forgets Joe Linton was crap for 2 years, and he's a cult hero now. Miggy, yes, he's had 3 years. He was good under Rafa. He didn't score, but he changed the way we played. We were able to be on the front foot, and Eddie Howe sees good stuff in Miggy. Just got to give him a bit of time. And I still think 10+ goal contributions this season from him. And yes, I know that's not going to win you titles, but we're not trying to win the title this year. We're just trying to progress. People have got to lower their expectations, I think, a little bit. That is also very true. That season when we lost the title, we did actually concede the fewest goals, but our game management was pretty poor. We lost too many games 1-0 in the end. That was the issue.
Yeah. It was like the two Fenton goals down the back.
Fenton goals, the Man United game.
Like
Forest game. I don't want to talk about it anymore. 45 million plus Dubravka tonight. We're going to come on to that a little bit later. Baz, did you play like Arsenal, pass the ball into the net? No, I wasn't that good. But my strengths was either a goal moocher, you get the 2-yard tap in. I never missed. Or I was a bit further back and I could create things. I used to love playing 6-a-side. That was my favourite type. Amazed at how many still want Miggy out of the team. I am. It's like we have to have a player to pick on, isn't it? It was Joe Linton for 2 years, and don't get me wrong, I was on his back because he wasn't good enough as a number 9. He turned his career around. There's no reason why Miggy can't do it as well.
You know what my personal opinion is right now? There is, for me, I'm not getting on any of them really, because there's not a single one that I can see that aren't giving 110%, not just for the team and for the club, but for all of us as well. How can you pick and be awful at human beings making mistakes? Yes, they're professionals, but oh goodness, you find me any professional in the world that doesn't make boo-boos, no matter how many years you've been doing what you do. You know what I mean? I think people just need to be a bit more realistic and forgiving.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
I said this a couple of weeks ago that I don't think I've ever seen a more together dressing room at Newcastle in this team.
Mhm.
And I'm including Keegan's, Robson's, the whole lot.
Mhm.
I think this group of players are just like that.
They'll literally jump in front of a bus for each other. That's the way they are, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
they're
agree.
like they're just. I can't explain it. I know Robson had a dressing room, but I heard that under Robson there was half group
Cliques.
here and half group
Yeah.
here. There was cliques. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a clique in that team. I
No,
think
I
that's
don't.
just one big unit, and that's
Yeah.
what Eddie Howe loves.
Yeah.
And Miggy was going nowhere because Eddie loves players like that.
Yeah.
He loves
Exactly.
players who give 100%. So Miggy was never going anywhere.
Yeah. Josh says, I feel like I'm the only one thinking Saturday wasn't Bruno's best. Don't get me wrong, he was good, but I felt compared to his lofty standard, he was a bit below that standard. I think you are on your own there, Josh, because the standards that he hit at some points aren't sustainable. It's impossible. But if you watch him run the game like he did against Forest, and he did do that, the way he just strolled into midfield at times and picked up the ball and finds space so easily, you know, this is his average game for us, good to average, but it's still excellent compared to what we're used to. So, you know, he's not always going to be a 10 out of 10, is he? But he was definitely an 8 out of 10.
He's going to be, you know, he's. I think he was phenomenal. Like some of his passes, his vision, his awareness, his the way he manages the midfield. Like he's a future captain. That lad is. You know, I think he shows knowledge and skill beyond his years. To be honest with you, it's brilliant.
Jesus. Right, we'll move away from that one very quickly. Right. So, is it going to come up on the screen? There it is. Right. So the next chance came quite early in the second half, and it was a half a chance in my eyes. The ball got swung into the box. It found itself to Willock, who tried to bend it in the far top corner, but he didn't really quite get a hold of it, and it was a comfortable save for the keeper. But again, on Willock, Mauro, I thought Willock had a great game as well. I know he went a bit unnoticed at times, but his winning of the ball, picking it up so easily in midfield and getting the attack going, off good work from Joe Linton as well. I thought Willock played really well and was unlucky with that chance. If he just wrapped his foot around it a bit more, like a Shearer, he might hit the back of the net.
Yeah, he was good, especially on the defensive side, and especially in the first half. I felt he did went a bit down in the second half, made a couple of mistakes before being replaced, but the overall performance was really, really solid.
Yeah, much better. Maybe he's settled more because last season, Gary, he was a little bit, duck out of water. He had a great 6 months, but the loan was a loan. He knew he was going back home. When he moves permanently, it's a different mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he'd been bruised, didn't he?
Yeah, that as well.
It was not. He wasn't the only one. I remember when he first came on the loan, and I thought we've got some player here, and I was I was like delighted when we signed him. And last season, obviously, it just didn't work for him. But it didn't work for loads of them. Shaw, Joe Linton, you name it, didn't work for any of them under Bruce. So as soon as Eddie came in, you knew Willock was going to be one of the players that improved massively. And I'm not going to lie, that chance, I must have been at the toilet or something because I can't remember it.
It was a bit of pinball in the box, and it just landed nicely to Willock, and he came onto it, and you could see what he was trying to do. Lindsay just didn't get a hold of it properly. Oh, Lindsay?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Willock chance, he just didn't get his foot around it. He came onto it nicely, just didn't quite get a good connection.
Oh yeah,
to
no.
it.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Willock. I really am. Talking about signing it, I was really buzzing when we signed him, but I do have to say when he got presented to everyone on the first day of the season, he looked absolutely miserable. And he really did. Like, is this really what I've chosen to do? Because obviously Steve Bruce is still there. Do you know what I mean? But he had everyone clapping him, and he didn't even crack a smile. It was just like, he didn't want to be doing it. And he struggled with injury. He's 21, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's only young. You know, he's spent his whole life living down south, and I've moved around a lot in my life. I've been all over the place because my dad was in the Air Force, and it's really hard, especially when you move from the south to the north, because it's a massive culture shock.
It is.
You know, and that's what a lot of people did take into account for him. I think last season he didn't get a proper pre-season. He was struggling with a toe injury, wasn't he, as well?
Bruce forced him to play, didn't he? Really, in a way.
Yeah, he was playing. He was playing with injections in his foot just so he could play. You know, and that's not right. You know, I think he just needed time to bed in. He needed to find this place to be his home. You know, he had to settle himself, get used to the culture, get used to being a Geordie full time.
And I think he will. And I think he's now bought into
he's
the
getting
culture.
there now because he's just blossoming every single game. I think he's better and better. I said a couple of weeks ago, I said, I don't understand why I'm seeing all these lineups of everybody's dream Newcastle lineup for the start of the season, and none of them had Willock in it.
No.
And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Why is, you know, they're sticking their imaginary dream players in instead of Willock, and I'm thinking, why are you doing that for? You've got perfectly good midfielder there.
Yeah, if we got Paqueta and Diaby, it's a different conversation.
Well, yeah,
and that's why everyone
different.
was looking at, weren't they? They were looking at the big lights and all this sort of stuff.
Well, some of it was even like, I know Sean Longstaff's been playing well, but they're choosing Sean over Willock. You know, they're just outright not having him in the midfield, even picking between the team we have now. So,
well, even Eddie came out and said that it was a difficult decision to pick between the two of them. To be fair. I was always Willock.
I thought he was going to play Longstaff in the beginning.
Yeah, you did.
Honestly, I did.
I as well, to be honest.
I think he likes Longstaff. I think he's a massive fan of it.
Yeah.
I know. But then I changed my tune when I saw the Forest fan. It was Luke, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, when he showed us his team, and I thought, nah, he's going Willock here.
Yeah.
And so he changed my mind. So
yeah, I like what I always have. Detecting Guru, thank you for either. I think you've already been a member, so either you've rejoined or upgraded or whatever it is. But thank you very much for doing that. Anybody else would like to be a member, please hit the link at the top of the chat and become a member for 99p or a little bit more, depending on what you want to choose. And if anyone would like to donate, please hit the $ in the bottom right hand corner and help me get my shed. And we also do prizes and stuff like that as well. Just remember that midfield without Bruno. Oh, God, yeah, it was just not very creative at all, was it? Yes, maybe I'm being a bit harsh. I just feel sometimes other players get so much stick over one or two bad decisions, like Miggy, Longstaff, etc. But players we love, sometimes I feel like we don't. You know, I get what you're saying. You think it's below par to his normal standard. I get that. But unless he scores an own goal, Bruno's just unbelievable. I'm late, top line, who we link with Baz. We've not talked about transfers yet. Judge the same. There's the new member or upgrade or whatever it is. And then Mags thanking him. There's a top player in Miggy. I think he's just a bit on the light side, same as what Salah was like when he came back stronger, ripped up the Prem, get Miggy on the weights. I mean, he's pretty ripped, isn't he?
Yeah.
He doesn't look. He's just small in stature, isn't he? He's pretty ripped, but he's just.
The Palace goal, he was really strong to knock the defender off, wasn't he? So yeah, Baz and team. If we don't have any new additions, do you think Shelvey instantly replaces Willock, or does Willock stay over Shelvey? Well, Shelvey's now injured for half the season, which we're going to discuss very soon. So to be honest with you, I think Willock and Longstaff are going to be ahead of Shelvey, and Shelvey might struggle to get back in the team full stop. Did you see Bruno's recent tweet? There's so many of them. Was it the seagull one? Did you see the swan one?
Yeah, the swan one.
That was good. Roy, again, thank you so much for the super sticker. If anyone else wants to help Roy, help fund my shed, please hit that $. I say shed, it's going to be a podcast studio, but, you know, it's a shed.
Fancy shed.
A fancy shed, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's just been announced today. He's gone through hamstring surgery, hasn't he? So we'll talk about that soon. But we've got to talk about this instant. This could have cost us had it not been for what we're going to show next. But Miggy, again, did he choose the right option to square it to ASM at that point, or should you have shot? I mean, the defender's in the way. The keeper looks like he's got the post covered at the other end, so maybe passing it was the best decision. But then when ASM got into there, you can see the defender and goalkeeper have smothered the goal. All he's got to do is square it again.
That one, to me, he should have squared it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
He's even look. See, Joe Linton was looking the other way. He's practically looking at him, and I think he just saw glory in his eyes, to be honest. But he definitely should have squared that one.
Yeah, should have definitely squared it.
Mm-hmm.
Even with his left foot or something, just get it back across the box.
I don't get it.
Wilson's being played on side, so we can just square it. That's the thing, and it's an open goal. Square it to Wilson, open goal, tap in, done. Jobs.
But once again, Bruno's on there, and it's played across. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Maxi shouldn't have taken the shot. He should have squared it to Wilson. He absolutely should have. Let's just hope he learns from it.
Yeah, because I mean, when we are very lucky, because literally 2 minutes later, bang!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What an absolute hit from Shaw Morrow. And the other thing that I said on the stream was that is almost a carbon copy of the Burnley goal that he scored 3 years ago. He was just a little bit further back with the Burnley goal, hit the post almost in the exact same spot as well. It was just an unbelievable strike.
Yeah, it's amazing. Almost a total copy of the goal, and both were scored with the tip of the foot. Tip of the foot, which is from distance really hard shot, but really couldn't be more perfect, and they're exactly the same. I think it's exact position, exactly the style, and where it went in, really amazing.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable hit, Gary, and I went nuts. I was just like, I can't believe he's done it again.
It was carbon copy of his goal against Burnley, like, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a little bit further forward. That's
it gets you thinking why he hasn't done it more often. You know what I mean? Because he's clearly got it in his arsenal, hasn't he? So, I mean, Eddie said it after the game, like he says, I was standing there when he was going to shoot, and I'm thinking, what's he doing? And when it went in the back of the net, he's thinking, oh, good idea, lad. You know what I mean? But it gets you thinking why he hasn't done it more often. But maybe that's because last time we had Steve Bruce in charge, and he just had no opportunity to get forward and things like that. But I think as the season goes on and with the better players we've got, you'll probably see him getting into positions like that more often. And he's probably going to hit his next one into Rose.
Yeah, probably. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery.
Exactly. But he's clearly got it, so keep doing it.
Definitely. Lindsay, what was it like seeing that goal live?
Oh, I was right in front of it. It was absolutely mental. There were limbs everywhere. Like, I was being grabbed from behind. I was being hugged. Like, no one could quite believe what we just stood. And it was just, we see him get the ball, and we all started just shouting, shoot. And he took 2 touches, opened his body, and we all just waited. And it was a screamer. We just saw the net crash, and that was it. Bonkers.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable hit. It really was.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable goal to witness. It really was. It was just pure class from Fabian. Yeah. You know, I think he's just growing in confidence more and more. You know, now Eddie's had a proper pre-season. You can see the work coming out in all of them. Everyone, even the ones written off like Matt Ritchie. You know, you're seeing progress in them as well. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie even came out and said he wants to keep Ritchie for another year. So it tells you what he thinks of him as a person as well as a player. So I think that's what a lot of people forget as well. These players, like you mentioned before, the unity. You know, Eddie wants a group of guys that get on with everyone. He doesn't want individuals. He doesn't want superstars who, you know, pick up the check, play the football 90 minutes, go into training, but then don't, you know, get involved around the outside of things and getting to know each other. So it's crazy. I I was surprised that they haven't showed this in the highlights, and I haven't got a screenshot for it. But there was another situation like there was in the first half between Bruno and Miggy again, where he slipped them in down the right-hand side in the box, and he had that left foot shot which nearly went underneath Henderson, but he saved it quite well. A few people have said, why didn't he hit it with his right foot, Gary? I mean, I thought he opened his body well, got it on his better foot, and he was just a bit unlucky. Good save.
He hasn't got a right foot, has he? That's why he didn't shoot with his right foot. My right foot's better than his, honestly. It's just Miggy's never. I don't think he's got any confidence in his right foot.
Yeah,
none at all. Mine. Wouldn't it be nice if you saw the 30-yard screamer against Man City at all?
Yeah.
Then ran over to Jack Grealish and went, there you can't get out of me.
Oh, man. A couple of weeks for that, though, because we've got a very tough game against Brighton coming up. But, yeah, I would love to see Miggy really have one over on Jack. This takes us to the last bit of action, obviously, Wilson's goal. How did he get it in from there? I mean, it was a lovely little play down the left. They took the time. They played it into Willock, then back out to ASM, who then slipped in Joe Linton. It was a bit of a scuffed cross in a way, but it came to Wilson on the volley, which made it a little bit easier to do what he did, because had the ball come along the ground, I don't think he would have been able to dig it out. But because the ball was in the air, he was able to cut his foot across the ball, and he just looped it over Henderson. And I mean, what an absolute finish that was, Lindsay, because there's no other way he's scoring in that position the way he did.
That's why, for me, like, all these people talking, again, you see people talking about buying this. I'm happy with Callum Wilson, mate. I honestly think we're going to see the best Callum Wilson now. He's moved here. You know, I think I said the other day, you know, he's had a proper preseason. He's actually properly fit. Yeah. You know, if you think about last season, no wonder he's getting injured when they're not even fit enough to last 90 minutes against a Premier League team. Yeah. No wonder ACLs are tearing and everything, you know. So I think we're about to see that. I touch wood. But I really sincerely hope we're about to see Callum Wilson tear up the Premier League and just snatch an England spot straight out. He's got
a chance, you know.
I know.
I don't want him to go to the World Cup. As a pure selfish point, not being a Newcastle fan, I don't want him to go to the World Cup because I see him as having that big rest and then coming back for the second half of the season.
Pundits are starting to push it.
I know.
I've seen it the last couple of days because, do you know what it is? Callum Wilson, right, fit and firing. Apart from Harry Kane, who's better than him for England?
I mean, people have mentioned it, to be fair. And there's not many goal
it's just
scorers
because
like
of his
him,
injuries. If he wasn't getting injured as often as he is, he would be regularly. He wouldn't be starting, you know, over Kane. Who knows, to be honest with you, if he wasn't getting injured. But he would definitely be a regular starter in the England team.
There's not many people I've seen can score a goal like that for us.
No.
Right? It was just pure quality. Maybe somebody like Ben Arthur, right? Somebody like that. It was pure quality. And there's only one place that ball was going to go in the net. And he hit it right bang in the middle of where it should have been.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Touch wood. He stays fit because he is a fantastic striker. And he can easily get 15 to 20 goals for us.
Oh, easily. If he stays fully fit, without a shadow of a doubt. And
that
I think
overhead kick against Wolves last season.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, he's a finisher.
Absolute Palace.
Palace.
Oh, it was Palace, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Palace away because Steve was absolutely raving about it.
That was it.
Yeah, but that was absolutely
glorious.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But Paul comes up with a good point here. England squad's PE teacher from Middlesbrough does not like the tune. So Gareth Southgate. I mean, obviously Trippier gets in the squad. But first of all, the goal, how impressed were you with the finish?
Our goal was amazing. It was really a work of art. And I was just thinking during the game that we didn't create much for Wilson, real good chances. He had a couple of semi-chances, you could say, and all of the others went on either for Maxi or Miggy on the right, and he didn't get a real striker's chance to run onto a ball or something. And it's like he got angry and said, okay, when you won't create me proper chance, I'll do some miracle like this goal. Really,
Well, there was a few occasions in the first half, and then also in the second half before he scored. I thought he was on his heels, and I thought if he'd made that run a lot earlier, he might have had 2 or 3 that day because the crosses weren't getting to where he was. But I thought with the way the players were getting into the box and to the bar line, the ball was never getting to where he was, and he wasn't reading it well enough. I don't know if that's me being critical or not.
No. I think he actually admitted that after the game in his interview. I think he said very similar that he decided to go earlier on that one, and it went in the back of the net. I think you're right. And I think it came from his mouth.
Oh, well, there you go. Happy days. I didn't see his interview. But Mauro, what do you think about the England situation? Gareth Southgate doesn't particularly like adding new faces to his squad, does he? He likes to seem to go with the same players. It's almost like England's a club, and you can't add new players into the fold.
Well, we are a bit strange sometimes with his selections and everything, but if Wilson keeps fit and playing like this, I think he definitely has a place in the squad. For me, he would be a second striker.
Yeah, do you want to answer that one? How many, from your eyes only, because obviously you don't care who England take, but from a Newcastle point of view, how many players do you think deserve to have a chance of going to the World Cup and we realistically get in the squad?
Probably 2 or 3. So Trippier, Pope.
Yeah.
I would like to see Burn. He was really amazing, but I don't think there's a way Southgate will call him, and possibly Wilson, depending how this season goes.
Are you just on about England players or like Newcastle players in general?
In all seriousness, how many players generally have a chance going to the World Cup? I'm guessing that opens it up to all of them. So the Shaw as well,
isn't it?
Yeah, Shaw, Kraft, Joe Linton, Bruno.
Because I think Joe Linton's got a big chance of going because Fred is just not doing it at all.
He always does it in a Brazil shirt, though. That's the thing. It's a bit like the Southgate situation where the manager picks him because he knows how well he plays for Brazil, not because of his club form.
It's like an exclusive club, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not on the guest list.
I've got Pope, Trippier, Bruno, Shaw. They're in the World Cup, aren't they?
I don't know.
If they are, Shaw will go. But
Shaw will go. Kraft will go if they're in the.
Yeah, if they're in. I think Joe Linton's got a chance.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the rest of them.
Well, it'll be Wilson, won't it? Because ASM's not getting in the France squad.
What about
Dubravka? Did Paraguay qualify?
Don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if Dubravka's still Slovenia.
I don't think they did actually.
No, I don't think
I'm
they did.
not sure if they did.
No,
they didn't.
No,
they didn't.
Any nationality, yeah. So there is a Paqueta if he joins.
Wink.
If Paraguay are there, then Miggy definitely goes.
Miggy goes.
Chris would have had New Zealand qualified, but they didn't. So yeah, we've got quite a few when you think about it, which is why I don't want Wilson to go. On a pure selfish Newcastle point, I don't want Wilson to go because I want him fit and firing, for the second half of the season. But if he fires in 10 goals, he'll go.
Well, I tell you what, if Southgate had a brilliant last tournament, I think he keeps the same side, but because it was so dreadful, right? Yeah. There's pressure on him now, and if Wilson's firing goals in and the rest of his strikers on, I think the pressure is going to turn up. You know what the media are like.
If we turn up and perform at the World Cup anywhere near like we did at the Nations Cup that's just been, then the people will be baying for blood because we know there's players that will play with more heart than the ones who, you could have picked an entirely different team of players who wanted to be in that squad, who weren't whinging because they were meant to be on holiday.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. That
was a lot for other nationalities as well, though, wasn't it? Look at Belgium.
But that's the thing. So don't pick the ones who want to play for the shirt, It just frustrates me because there are like Matty Targett would love to have a game, go play for his country, and You know, even if it's just once or twice they get the opportunity to, everyone's going, well, who cares? It's Nations Cup. Well, if no one cares, pick different people.
Yeah.
No one cares.
I mean, Calvert-Lewin's not going. He's injured, right? He's not going. Kane's picks himself. That's obvious. Watkins is not on form. Villa fans are slating him a bit. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the rest of them, striker-wise.
Danny Ings.
Tammy
Abraham is obviously doing well.
He's doing well.
I think there's a chance Wilson goes to this World Cup. I think I'm 50-50 on it at the minute.
With Calvert-Lewin being injured, he definitely has more of a chance now.
Yeah.
Most definitely. He has more of a chance now with Calvert-Lewin injured than he ever had before.
How long is Calvert-Lewin out for, though?
About 4 months, isn't it?
Is it?
4 to 6 months?
No, I think it's 6 weeks.
6 weeks he gets himself fit and proves himself again.
But he's not.
Got to get himself in
form. Bamford as well, wasn't it? He was another one, but I don't know what he's doing at Leeds, to be honest with you.
No, I just think pressure is going to turn up, and if Wilson's on form, he's going to the World Cup. And Wilson said in his interview he wants to go to the World Cup. That tells me he's being told. That tells me he's being told that there's a chance.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be right on it.
It's going to be interesting.
For the next week. Oh, yeah.
Very, very interesting. Calvert-Lewin shit anyway, not in the same league as Wilson. I love it. I can't argue with that, to be fair. How many games Anderson will play this season? Oh, your guess is as good as mine, to be honest with you.
I'm excited about him.
Exactly, me too. Paraguay didn't qualify for the World Cup, so Miggy's not going. So there's another rest.
Miggy's not going.
Look at him.
Yeah, there's the photograph. Right in the middle, Miggy.
He's so cute.
I mean, they've even put Ryan Fraser next to Dan Burn again.
I love that. You could just see his head popping out between. It's like peekaboo, isn't it?
Absolutely love these photographs. Are you guys a fan of the photographs? Lindsay first.
Oh, I love them. I think it's just brilliant because you get to share that moment with them. It's like Eddie Howe said, it's a snapshot in time, innit?
Yeah.
Things for them to look back on. Remember that feeling. Let it drive you to get it again.
Yeah.
I love him.
Mauro, what about you?
Definitely. It's a great great thing for the morale, and you could see on every photo that every one of them enjoyed. Those who played, who haven't played, the staff, they're just all over the moon. And I think it's a great thing to do.
Gary, who's the guy in the white shirt? He doesn't look like he's enjoying it that much. He's got his hands in his pockets and everything.
And that. I thought it was Derek Wright at one point.
I know, me too, for a second.
Do you know why I love them? Because they piss the rest of the country off. That's why I love them.
I know. I said if I'd remembered I was going to Flamingo Land yesterday, I would have worn I would have got the Saudi kit the other day when I was getting my football shirt just to wear that around. Brilliant. Sorry, continue.
Did Scotland qualify? I don't know if they did or not. Look what happened to Mike.
Sorry, I cut you off. I did cut him off there. Sorry.
Fine, don't worry about it. What happened to Mike? Oh God, we don't want to talk about that. Just seeing the Queen of St James's Park missing from. Oh, was she not in there? She's not in all of them anyway. To be fair, though, she's
no. It's rare. I think it was like for the big wins, and they did it. They went in and got a picture with the ladies when they won at St James's as well, didn't they?
Yeah, and then on the pitch at the last game of the season, that was a great picture. On a side note, anywhere in your application for the yes, there was. Apparently, they had over 300 applicants 3 weeks before the window was shutting for the job, and they wouldn't accept my application because they already had 300. I was not impressed. But again, I swear too much. I probably wouldn't have got it anyway. Ukraine beat Scotland. That's right. Right. Let's try and get through all these stats because this is where the exciting stuff starts. So Joe Linton, passing accuracy 90%, chances created 3, interceptions 1, duels 1, 9, tackles 1. I'm sure there's probably more than that. His heat map was unbelievable. He got 1 assist, which is just absolutely fantastic. You know, I mean, Gary, that's just unreal, isn't it?
Do you know how he reminds us of at the minute? Right? But unfortunately, he can't finish like him. Yaya Toure.
Yeah.
He's that type of player. I mean, look at them stats, man. Honestly. you know what it is? It doesn't matter whether it's Man City away or Brentford at home on a Tuesday night, he's going to get stuck in. And you know the only problem I've got with him, I think he's going to pick some red cards up this season.
If he's firing,
I think he's going to pick a couple of them up.
Or at least the yellows to cause a match suspension.
Yeah.
He's at least going to get a build-up and get a suspension at some point.
Yeah. He's, I mean, to go from a supposed striker, to that type of midfielder who is basically one of our most important players. It's absolutely phenomenal. And it just shows you how good Eddie Howe is to spot that.
I like that one there. Look at Jose's map. He's given the support to ASM. And if you look at his map again, he's a lot on the left-hand side, isn't he? So he knows that he's taken on that extra responsibility of saying, well, if ASM is going to be higher up the pitch, I will get over there to help. Mauro, his performance was fantastic, wasn't it?
Amazing. He was really great and becoming a beast. I don't think it will be long before we see him selected for Brazil.
Yeah, I agree. Lindsay, what did you make of his performance live? Did you just enjoy everything?
He's just an absolute stallion, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's just unreal. He really is. He's so strong. He's so technical. He's so good with the ball. He's good with his feet, like sometimes he look like he could trip over his own feet, but somehow he always comes out with the ball, like there's times he looks like he's struggling and then all of a sudden he's away and you're like, oh, all right then, but he's just the whole package. He just needs to get that finishing down now, but he is working hard on it, so he's just unreal. What a stallion.
Why didn't we opt for Wood back for Corney? It's a good question, but there's an injury concern with Corney going down the line, so that's the reason why. Caitlin told me he's a star. God, let's not go there. Right, the respect slide. This was probably Forest's best player, and it shows you how good we were. Yeah, because it's Dean Henderson. Played the full 90, he made 7 saves inside the box, 4. He had 56 touches, accuracy of passing 74%, I think it is. Or accurate passes 14. Again, he's a goalkeeper, so you don't expect him to really have a great passing range. But he did mug one of our closing attackers down and take him on in the first half. And he did pull off some great saves, obviously from Miggy, especially with that tight one at the front post, which he smothered. Someone asked earlier in the chat, did we get the better goalkeeper, Pope over Henderson? I still think it's 50-50 between the two of them. I know Henderson let himself down with his comments and what he said when he left Man United, but he's still a quality keeper, Gary.
Yes.
Would you sign him next summer to be rivaling Pope? Because you've only gone on loan to Forest. I don't know if there's an obligation or option to buy in that contract.
No.
I cannot see Eddie buying him. One, I think it'd be too much, right? And what's he gonna do? Get ahead of Pope? I can't see. I think he's going to have to be busy for Nottingham Forest this season, and he's probably going to have to be the player this season because the way I thought the best part of Nottingham Forest was their defence, and they weren't very good at that. Yeah. So he's certainly going to be busy this season, but I cannot see us signing him because I just think Pope's just going to be the number one for the next 2 to 3 years. And I don't think he's going to sit on the bench. Yeah,
true. I mean, he didn't want to sit on the bench at Man United, did he, Mauro? So it's one of those things, isn't it? But good performance from him. As an away goalkeeper, he only conceded 2. We could have really let in 5 if it wasn't for him. And maybe if we had our shooting boots on.
Yeah, it was a good performance for him. But I'm happy with Pope. I think Pope is a bit quality keeper. Maybe Henderson has a bigger potential, bigger ceiling, but for me, Pope is a bigger professional too. So I'm really quite happy with the choice we made.
Yeah, Pope is quality. Lindsay, you in the same agreement?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm like the fact that he left the club. He hasn't even left his parent club properly, and he's already been airing dirty laundry for everyone. Steer well clear of people like that, because all he's going to do is bring that toxic attitude into our lovely Eddie Howe dressing room, and that's something we don't need.
I agree.
We
with
just
that.
don't need people like that.
Yeah. And Mark, no, he can't play against Man U because he's only on loan, unless they've not. I think it's written into every contract now when it comes to a loan because of something.
Yeah,
that
after it
happened
happened to us.
Yeah. Funny. We're going to talk about Bruno. There's his heat map.
Amazing.
He is absolutely fantastic, isn't he? But there's his real heat map. He was all over the pitch, especially down the right, working with Miggy to use his pace to get in between the lines, which is why I think it will be used a lot more this season. Just absolutely fantastic, really. Accurate passes, 63, touches 95, key passes 3, duels 112, tackles 1-3. He was my man of the match. And looking at those stats, Mauro, you can't disagree with that, can you? He does everything. Is Mauro having a Mauro?
Sorry, I had some sound problems. I can't hear you.
It's all right.
I have to log out and try.
Right, okay, Val. Gary, what did you make of that? I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
7 out of 10, isn't it? Honestly, he's phenomenal. Do you know the amount of key passes that? I mean, look there, 3 key passes, but
it was probably more, wasn't it?
He's just he makes everybody else in the team look good enough. He's that type of player, and anybody like when he plays, how many of them through balls did he play for Miggy or the SM? I mean, they were constantly doing it, but you can't do anything about it. It's not like you can go and try and stop him because he's too clever for that. He'll just get into a different position and do it somewhere else. And he gets his feet stuck in. He's just, the only thing he needs to do is needs to probably just improve his finishing a bit. But apart from that, he's absolute world class, in my opinion.
Yeah, he is. Mauro, looking at those stats, I mean, Bruno does everything, doesn't he? He's not just a creator getting us forward. He actually does all the dirty work as well, doesn't he?
He does everything. Really world-class player we have. And for me, it looks like he's really enjoying the number 6 role too. He's been playing in most games in pre-season, and this game he likes to go back, pick up the ball, and then try to progress with it or send a good pass. But he can do everything. He can do number 6. He can do number 8. Really, world class. World class.
Lindsay, what do you make of him?
I just think he's fantastic. Like I say, he's going to be one of the best in the world one day. He really is.
Transfer updates are coming after we've talked about the game, mate. That's how the flow of the show is going. We are running a little bit behind because there's just so much to talk about, and Bruno was just so bloody good, and he was my man of the match without a shadow of a doubt. One of the funny bits again is I saw a bit of paper come on the pitch, a bit of tactics on there. I was really surprised no Newcastle player tried to go over and read what was on there, like they did with the England-Germany in the women's final. They ran over.
Russo, wasn't it? That was like, let me see.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see. But apparently,
does she speak German, Russo?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Can she read
But at least she tried. At least she tried. None of us tried. But luckily, we had a very high camera, very high up, who zoomed in on the bit of paper, and this is what it said. I love it. Absolutely love it. But there you go. I also found this stat as well. I thought it was actually quite crazy. Newcastle Strengths created a high number of chances relative to their possession. We're effective for creating goal-scoring opportunities from the flanks. We're effective at creating goal-scoring opportunities from set pieces. Nottingham Forest, no team has no significant strengths. I literally couldn't stop laughing at that when I read it. I was just like, oh my God. But that's how poor they were.
Have you seen the clip doing the rounds of the corner routine?
Yes, I have no. I mean, it's quite clever in a way if it pulls off, but it looks so stupid.
If it works, genius. If it doesn't work, what the heck are they doing? Like, you're like, I'd be furious if our team done that. If we were 1-0 behind, and that's how they chose to take a corner, I'd be livid.
It's like taking a penalty, isn't it? Straight down the middle, and the keeper just stands there and picks it up. That's what it's like, isn't it?
It was funny, wasn't it?
If it comes off, it looks great, but if
Yeah.
it doesn't, it looks absolutely
I mean, they
great.
were getting the run on the defenders. That's the idea of it, isn't it? They've got the pace running in, but the ball was
They're
too
just
high.
going to get there before Pope.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the next slide. So it's obviously showing a lot of our stats and how dominant we were. 23 attempts, 17 from open play, 6 from set pieces. Our conversion rate was only 8%. The key passes, 505 passes. When have we ever had that many passes in a game? I can't remember that. 26 crosses. So, Wood was in the team and the balls were in the box. He might have actually flourished today, on Saturday, sorry. But some of these stats are fantastic. 432 short passes. We are looking to keep the ball now and then waiting for our opportunities. There was 4 through balls, which Bruno played 3 of them, and 43 long balls. Now, if that was the sad, fat cabbage dickhead, that would be the other way around, wouldn't it? It would be 432 long passes and 43 short passes. And the cards were actually very good. There was no cards given to any Newcastle player, but the referee played to his average of cards, and he dealt out three yellow cards to Forest, and they were all deserved as well, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little bit more detail about the stats. So 13 inside the 5-yard box shots, 57 inside the 18-yard box, and only 30% outside of the box. So that is a very good stat, showing you that we are trying to be a lot closer to goal before hitting them. I know Shaw scored a worldie, but I like those stats. I like how most of it is inside the box, and we're not speculating outside of the box as much. It's 70% of your chances out of 23 shots are created inside the box. You're always going to score goals if you can keep those numbers up. And then in the percentage-wise, 47% was in the away opposition, which, again, I've never seen stats like that with Newcastle before for a very long time. Keeping the ball in the final third, winning it high up. It's just, we're in a different world now, aren't we? It's crazy. And that shows you a bit of where we attacked a lot. As you can see down the right, we actually attacked a lot more at times, through the middle quite a lot as well. And as you can see from the left and the right, we like to cut inside into the goal as much as we could. And it shows you how well Trippier did as well, because 50% of Nottingham Forest's attacks would try to go down the left with Johnson, but Trippier had him in his back pocket. As well as did Bruno and Willock helping out. So yeah, I put that slide in twice for some reason. And this final slide for the stats, which I really like, some really interesting stuff on there. Forest burning. Andrew with a brilliant slide on this one. That's the highest amount of shots on target since we played Brentford away last season. Which is crazy. Highest ever under Howe. We had 11 shots on target. The foul count is down. Corners is up compared to what we normally do. Crosses 25, touches 645, tackles 22, 18 interceptions, 21 aerial duels won, and 16 clearances as well. We were, you look at Nottingham Forest as their clearances 33. It tells you how much we were dominating the game, because they were panicking at the back at times. Only 1 offside, which is really good. 2 goal kicks and 21 throw-ins for us. And as you can see, 12 goal kicks for Forest and 26 throw-ins for them. So it just shows you, how dominant we actually were. And these stats are really good if you want to pick those strange bets out as well. So you want to keep an eye on stuff like that. Gary, you put one of these in the group chat, but I love these things from, it's a great Twitter account, The Other 14. It shows you the most chances created in the first week. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in it, which is crazy. Callum Wilson, Kieran Trippier, Miggy Almiron, Target with 3 chances, Joe Linton with 3, and Bruno Guimaraes with 3. And you spotted something in this chart. Everyone was saying that, why we're going to buy Jack Harrison? Why do we want him? 7 chances created, top of the list in week 1. And James Maddison and James Ward-Prowse, 3 players that we've been, James Ward-Prowse as well. They got hammered 4-1 off Spurs, Southampton, and he's still up there with 4 chances created. And this is why we've been after those 3 players, because they create chances. They make the difference in the final third. So maybe now it sinks in a little bit why we were after Jack Harrison and why we're after, everyone knows why we're after Maddison, because he's quality. But if you've noticed there as well, we're the only team where we are dominating that with so many players in, which is exceptional in my eyes, to have that many players in that chart. And then the next one as well, most progressive yards carried, ASM at the top by 90 extra yards than any other player. And Bruno's in there with 188. So it just shows you who our ball carrier is. 2 of them now. We already used to have ASM, but now Bruno's obviously the guy who makes things happen as well. So it's not all relying on one player. We're relying on Bruno now as well.
How did bloody Jesse Lingard get himself in there?
137 yards. I'm surprised he even touched the ball, to be honest with you.
He must have been doing a video on the bloody pitch at the same time.
The final one is, that was my banker bet for the weekend for Newcastle game, and we lost by 1 leg. Bruno Guimaraes let us down, so maybe that's why he got a 7 out of 10. Someone placed the same bet and lost, but he didn't have 1 shot on target. Had he had a shot on target, that bet would have flown in. Which is a bit of a shame. So that wraps up the game. So we'll talk a little bit about some transfer news. So Gary, you pointed something out. Sesko looks like he's signed for obviously Leipzig. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah. It's 20 million, not 24.
Yeah. Well, it was 24 million euros, wasn't it? So it's 20 million in total, I think, which is crazy. And it's Red Bull to Red Bull, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is what we talk about, feeder clubs and stuff like that. And there it is.
Something. I mean, a few people on Twitter were saying that, why haven't Newcastle bid for that? And then I said, well, why haven't Manchester United? There's something seriously fishy about that deal. £20 million for a lad who a few weeks ago was saying, we wouldn't accept 300. Yeah. That looks to me like 2 clubs that have got like friendly relationship. There you go. And loan him back. We'll have him. Friendly relationship. 20 million is an absolute steal for him.
It is.
Absolute steal.
It stinks as well, doesn't it? I'm not going to, money laundering, maybe. I don't know if it's that way or what, but
there's something.
That guy's too big for that club, in my eyes. He should be playing, Barcelona and Real Madrid were after him as well.
Yeah, it's like, who wouldn't go for him for £20 million? Who wouldn't bid £20 million for him?
Exactly.
I mean, Wolves would do it. We would do it. Forest would do it. Man United, Chelsea will buy anybody. There's loads of teams that would go out there and bid £20 million for him. There's something. I'm telling you, they must have had loads of bids for him, but they've just put an agreement. There you go.
Yeah, crazy.
Something fishy about it.
It is.
Lindsay,
what do you make of it? It's a shame.
Well, like you say, it sounds like there's something dodgy going on, to be honest with you. Like, I just tend not to pay too much attention. I told you the other day, didn't I? I try not to get too emotionally involved because I've still never fully recovered after Hugo Ekitike. So, I try to keep my excitement to a minimum. Yeah, unless I'm darn sure it's going to happen, I try and keep my excitement about people to a minimum. But it's just dodgy dealings, isn't it? Parent clubs, feeder clubs. There'll be something dodgy that, like you said, there will be something dodgy. There'll be some way of moving money between it could be them loaning them some money. They maybe owe them money and no one knows about it,
This is true.
That could be why it's such a low amount. They could owe them millions. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe. I think it's just because it's Red Bull and they've got a relationship. It's a bit like Man City with that American one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
I think he deserves better. Like, it did not necessarily that we would be better, but anyone really. You had, like you say, you had Barca. I mean, Barca aren't even allowed to register their team really. At the minute.
I know. The only thing that makes that deal look decent is it's similar to Haaland.
There we are. Mogul said the same thing, Blade.
Yeah, it's like
The Blade.
And Haaland was that. I think Blade put it on the group, if I remember, and it was like Haaland, very similar situation, and then Haaland made the jump, didn't he? But I still think he's too good.
Yeah,
he is too good to go there. Honestly, he is. He needs to come to Spain or England. I'm not like, if he didn't want to come to England, it's fine. Go to Spain.
Yeah.
Just makes no sense
Go
to me.
somewhere where you're going to flourish, where your talent is going to flourish, where you're going to be tested and you're going to progress.
Yeah.
Because going somewhere where there's not, especially if there's not competition for his place in the team, you know, you run the risk of coasting, don't you? We're all guilty of it. We can try and be the hardest workers in the world, but if you don't have someone on your back often enough, you could just start slowly dipping, don't you, really, in everything.
Yeah. I think you'll get a move again, and it'll be a big move. That's when the big money will come in. But again, that franchise is going to get the money regardless, isn't it? Mauro, you're obviously a big fan of Sesko. You know a lot more about him than what we did when we first mentioned that name. How disappointed are you with that move?
Well, it's something that you can always expect from Red Bull. So Leipzig is a parent club of Salzburg, and at first, it's not the first one. It's probably 15th or 20th player that does the same. Goes players that plays good couple of years in Austria, then he goes to Leipzig before securing some big money move. And at first they were criticized for it, but now they try to keep, let's say, realistic market price. But of course, if he wasn't going to Leipzig or any other team like us or any other, it would be 50-60 million. That were quoted in papers before.
Yeah.
It's like the bloody Eurovision Song Contest. Isn't it? Do you know what it is? You can see it now, can't you? There's going to be like a 30% sell-on clause.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that.
But
it'd be something like
that'd be a
ridiculous.
way of getting around the tax and stuff like that, won't it? Money laundering. So the other news to break today is obviously John Joe Shelby is undergone surgery. It's a huge loss, and maybe that's why the reports of a third bid going in for Maddison is quite realistic now, because that's another creative player we've lost. I know Shelby, we might struggle to get back in the team, but his range of passing is fantastic. We know Maddison's strengths. We've seen the stats. He created 5 chances in the first week for Leicester. Where do we start with it? I mean, we did get a bit of, I haven't put it out on anything, but we got a bit of information in the group because we know someone who works for Newcastle that there's big amount of money has been put aside for a bid. We didn't know if it was Maddison or whether it's Paqueta, or it could be somebody else that we've never heard of, but there is money put aside, Gary, for a bid for someone.
Yeah.
And it could be Maddison now with Shelby being injured for that long.
I think Eddie and the club have known this for a while. That's why they've changed to Maddison. I think Shelby got pulled up in the friendlies, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Benfica, wasn't it? Or somewhere. Yeah. Right, so they've known for a while that Shelby was going to need surgery. So I think he's happy with Fraser and Miggy right now. And it's no coincidence that the player we're looking at is Maddison and Paqueta, who've both played on the right wing before. The two of them. So... I mean, there was another name mentioned today as well, which was Gallagher.
Yes, Gallagher on loan potentially.
So, but that is based on whether Paqueta or Maddison doesn't come.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get. I mean, I'm still not convinced Maddison will come. I think they want too much money. I think he might want to come, but still think Paqueta's the one.
Yeah, I think Paqueta at the end of the window. I honestly feel we're not in any rush to sign anyone, and I think selling clubs will get itchy feet right at the end of the window, and that's when we're going to pounce. That's when we come in with our bid and say, take it or leave it. And I think Eddie is in this situation with his squad. He's very happy. And if he misses out on the targets this summer, he's not going to be that fussed because he knows there's a January window. There's another summer window next year. We can keep the money for that as well. And we're still going to have a good season regardless. I know people are worried about this and that. But from what I've seen so far in pre-season and the first game of the season, we are a top 10 side. It's as simple as that. And we will finish top 10 regardless. Mauro, who would you like to come in? Maddison, Paqueta, Harrison. Who would you go for? Or Gallagher?
My biggest wish from the start was, beside Botman, was Paqueta, and I'm still hoping he will come. I like Madison, but I think Paqueta is a bit more complete player, defensively both and offensively. They just played the game this weekend, and they were men down. And Paqueta had to change from playing box-to-box midfielder to a very defensive player, and he did it really good. He even followed the fullback a couple of times all the way to the corner line, so he has that defensive side in it. And I think he has maybe a bit higher potential. Yeah, younger on top, so I really hope Paqueta will be the one coming.
Yeah. Lindsay, who would you prefer?
Paqueta, if I'm honest. Like, I know everyone, I see people going, oh, no one would even be bothered if he were Bruno's mate, but I just love his style of football. And I think the way he's very much like Bruno, he can make something out of nothing, and I know Maddison could do it, and he's proven but I would prefer Paqueta. I can't help it. The heart wants what it wants.
Madison's a top player, but Paqueta's class.
He's the Brazilian team, isn't he? So he's definitely something about him.
I've said this loads of times. Some people in France will tell you that he's better than Bruno. That's crazy, enough for me. That's enough for me, honestly. Yeah. So, Paqueta, every time.
Yeah. Paqueta makes a lot more sense now that Shelby is out. Bruno plays the 6 in DBL pivot with Paqueta, exactly. So it's going to be interesting.
They've already got a chemistry. That's the thing. They're telepathic with each other, Bruno and Paqueta. It would not take Paqueta long to settle in the team and start just creating chances with Bruno. It really wouldn't.
You know what else I think's changed Eddie's mind as well? Elliot Henderson.
Yeah.
I think the way he's performed in pre-season, I think we're going to keep him now, especially with Shelby being injured. And I think that's why he's moved to centre mid. He's changed his tune.
Paqueta isn't even as good as Madison's left leg. Of course he is. You need to go and watch a lot more of Paqueta.
I mean, the name says it all. FIFA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Paqueta is probably best midfielder anywhere. I mean, Paqueta... don't get me wrong, Paqueta or Madison, it's on par.
Yeah,
almost.
Take any of them.
And they can both, like Mauro said about Paqueta dropping, Maddison can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play a 10, he can probably drop as well and be a dirty git when he wants to be. He can win free kicks, he's good at diving, which I hope he cuts out if he comes to Newcastle.
Unless it's winning us them.
I think, didn't Paqueta win some award for Player of the Year or something in midfield or something in France?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
I think he was nominated. He was nominated, I think.
Yeah.
I think he was nominated alongside Mbappe. Because I think Mbappe ended up winning it, but...
Yeah. That would be crazy, wouldn't it, if we went to the World Cup and we had Joe Linton, Bruno and Paqueta in the Newcastle squad. But like we say, if you're entitled to your opinion, we just think Paqueta's better. But it depends on what you've seen and what we haven't seen potentially. But, everyone wants Paqueta to come. 90% of the Newcastle fan base want it to happen. Going to Lesbit from Salzburg makes sense because they will offer a sell-on percentage in next sales, so they get around 10-15 million a year or two. Yeah, I get it. It's just, because they're owned by the same sort of company. It's a bit weird. More inclined to stick with 2. I don't think Madrid are going to come. Actually, they couldn't they? Let's not get that far ahead of ourselves because that'll break our hearts if that happens.
Who's to say he'd even go? Yeah,
this is true. He loves the tune, doesn't he?
That's why it's not vital this season. But next summer. Next summer, we've seriously got to go into next season aiming for Europe because we need to keep a hold of Bruno and Botman, you name it. And I think next summer's massive. Absolutely.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Paqueta's potentially half of Madison's price. He scores, assists, can play across the midfield up front, and he's Bruno's BFF. Exactly. I mean, like we've all said about the photographs and all this sort of stuff, we're talking about players to fit into the mentality of the squad. Is Maddison going to do that? I don't know. it'll be interesting.
But it's fell out with Rodgers, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and we
just don't
literally do not want that, do we?
I mean, you can just see it. You can just see it now, can't you? Paqueta scoring a goal at the Gallagher, and him, Bruno, and Joe Linton doing the dance in the corner.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, wasn't it?
Like they did back in the day. Was it Marario, Bebeto, and Rivaldo?
Rivaldo.
Yeah, that's who it was. I remember that. Does Bruno have a release clause? He might do. He might have a Champions League one or something like that. I don't know, but it depends when it's triggered or anything like that. But I honestly don't know, Alan.
I'd be very surprised if he has.
Yeah,
I don't think the one else would do it like that.
No, I think they're very shrewd.
I would hope not.
Very, very shrewd.
I would hope not.
I think they might have given like a pat on the back and says, "Look, we'll consider any big deal for you. Trust that." But they're not stupid. They'll want as much money as possible out of Bruno.
Yeah, Paqueta is what the heart wants, but I'd have Maddison if we can't get the Brazilian.
So would I.
Exactly.
I would.
Get Paqueta, it will make Bruno stay even longer. We will easily bring in 6-7 players in the next 3 windows, and all of them will be top shelf. I agree with that. Over January, summer, following January, the following summer, things are just going to get bigger and better. Everyone's saying, why don't we go for Diaby? Because Arsenal is sniffing around. Diaby's already said he's staying where he is. I can't see him leaving after that quote, and I can't see him going to Arsenal because they're not playing Champions League football, and that's what he wants.
Why would Arsenal go for? I don't understand that. They've got Saka. They didn't need him. They've got Martinelli. They've got Saka. They didn't need
Odegaard. They've got so many attacking qualities. They don't need Diaby. They need defenders.
I think that's just paper talk about Diaby.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. They've got too many good bloody midfielders. Also.
Some of it's people putting lip service out there, though, to drive the prices up for players. It's really quite tedious, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a lot of the agents doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mauro, what's your thoughts on Diaby? Can you see him moving if there's any interest from Arsenal?
No.
Yeah.
No. I think if he said he wants to stay there playing Champions League and the World Cup is coming, I can see him moving to Arsenal especially.
Yeah, exactly. I did put a little short video out for anyone who hasn't seen it. I have been told that 4 players are getting new deals. It's Joe Linton, Maxi, Wilson, and Anderson. They're all going to be offered new contracts. So that is really, really exciting. I mean, Anderson's a no-brainer. Joe Linton's a no-brainer. Maxi still splits the fans' opinion 50-50, but to me, it's a no-brainer because you want to drive his price up. And Wilson, we can't afford to lose him, so it's definitely a no-brainer for him getting a contract.
I think Maxi's already signed it.
Yeah, I think he has as well. That tweet that came out saying Newcastle for life. Yeah,
by black and white forever. That's what he said, and I thought immediately he signed the contract.
Yeah. And just haven't released it. They're very, very slow at releasing these signing the contracts. I mean, we found out about Howe's long contract 6 weeks ago, and we put it out there and forgot all about it. And then suddenly he then signed his contract. I got a lot of stick for that as well.
I think they might be trying to do it to build the games up,
Yeah, potentially.
Just boost the atmosphere a bit. I mean, maybe they'll announce the players before the Man City game to boost that up.
They don't need to, though.
No, they don't. But
everyone's
it's like a tactic, isn't it? Yeah. It's like a tactic, isn't it? So it's like to get the fans even more like you head up than they already are. But it's like I mean, like I said, I think Wilson will sign his. I'll be shocked if he doesn't.
I'm shocked if none of them sign
They'll all sign it. They will all sign it. What they're being handed is what some of the other team are chomping at the bit for. They'll be looking at them with envy. 3 of them, because that's what the whole team want. They all want contract extensions. They all want to stay and be part of the project.
Yeah,
I think Wilson will sign the contract, and I think he'll know deep down that at some point in the next 2 years he's not going to be the main man up front.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's obvious, isn't it? I mean, how old's Wilson now? He's about 30, isn't he?
So 29,
30.
Is he? Is he 29, 30? So I think probably. I mean, he's still gonna. I mean, Shearer went to 34, didn't
he? Yeah.
So,
Wilson hasn't had the knee injuries that Shearer's had.
No.
So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm just trying to find Wilson's age for you because I'm sure he's 20. He's 30.
He's 30. Turned 30 in February.
Yeah, February. Yeah. So he's still got another good 2-3 years in him if he can stay fit. And this is why we want another striker as a backup. But then again, we could be looking for a striker to replace him soon. Isn't that Barca striker going on a free? Why don't we get him? So that's Depay. But again, he said he only wants to go to a top club that's playing European football. So that kind of rules us out unless we can sell the dream. Depay has been in the Premier League before with Man United and he flopped. Mauro, do you think that's if he's free, is it a good idea or not? Or would that upset the dressing room because his wages could be a problem?
His wages, and I'm not sure about the character. He would be the right fit with the rest of the guys, but I think he's already had some agreement with Juventus in Italy, and it was just a question whether Juventus want to pay or not. And in the end, they just arranged with him to release him, so I think they don't have to pay to him remaining wages or something. So I think he's probably moving to Juventus.
Yeah. Yes, there is sort of a takeover going over, but it's a different type of takeover. It's a shareholder takeover. They need to buy all the shares. The owners that are in now, with the owner who wants to buy it, they don't want to sell them. Some people do want to sell them. It's all a bit of a mess, and that's why I've been saying for ages the Paqueta deal could go right down to the end of the window, to be honest with you. But they can still sell and sign players if they want to. Doubt is the highest, but that could have just been compared to the top earners, which is roughly 110k a week. Yeah, that's about the average at the moment with us, isn't it? What are you going to say, Gary?
Didn't you say that Paqueta could buy himself out his contract? The club loan him the money.
Yeah.
To do it.
I don't know how much it is. I think it's 40 million or something, or 36 million or something like that. But in euros, it'll be higher. But yes, he has a release clause, not a buyout clause.
Yeah.
Because buyout clauses are illegal in France, but you can have release clauses, which is what you would have to pay the remaining of your contract to get out of it.
Yeah.
God, Depay would be an amazing signing, but on free, a Champions League team will pay more wages. Exactly. That's going to be the issue. If we have to a winger, why not get Eagle from Palace? A bit like Eagle from Palace. Eagle. Eze? Maybe?
It'll be him.
Eze is quality, but he's not going anywhere.
There's a few rumours about Zaha the day, but nothing concrete. But I've seen it.
I wouldn't take Zaha, to be honest with you. Didn't need to sign any player as backup to anyone. Signing should be direct competition for first team. But that's a little bit different, Kay, with the striker situation, because we've got Wood and we've got Wilson. We want a young guy to come in who's like 18, 19, buy him at a decent price now and let him flourish and learn from Wilson. Yes, he'll get his game time, but he won't be the star striker yet. That's what we're looking at. And there's more than one way to skin a cat. You don't just go out and spend 80 million on a striker and hope he hits the ground running like Liverpool have done. There are other ways of doing it as well, which is buying young and then progressively putting them into the team eventually. I
mean, look what man said. You've done with that Alvarez.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gotta be in that lineup in a couple of years' time. But
yeah,
it's exactly the same. That's why Sesko would have been perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And Ekiteke.
Yeah. He can't even get on the bench, can he?
No.
I've heard a rumour he's not even on the bench for PSG.
It's crazy. What a waste of time. But again, he's gone there to learn off Mbappe, Messi. You can't fault him for wanting to go to his favourite club in these. It's like us going to Newcastle over, Barcelona or Real Madrid, just because even though we're not going to sit on the bench, we're at our club, aren't we? So I get it. Howe made a comment about planning to play Henderson this season, and I think a bit of a slip up, letting us know he's staying. I'm so glad he's staying. It did actually mean he's Eagle, the mascot. Fair enough. No man, the Eagle they have as a mascot. Yeah, we don't need a mascot. Are Newcastle going to let Leeds sign PSG young striker we were linked to? Killamondo, I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, if he literally has a chance to come to the Premier League, I hope we hijack that deal because he is quality. I did a comparison between him and Sesko, didn't I? And Killamondo's stats came out well above Sesko, so that said a lot.
Was it not Isaac or something?
Oh, maybe not Isaac. Yeah, Isaac. Sorry, rather the Sesko. Isaac and Killamondo. And Killamondo's stats were fantastic, but Zapata's stats pissed on all of them. So it depends what you want and what we need.
And Dan Burn pissed on him in the front.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
If Alvarez was scoring 20+ goals, Ekateke is going to flop, I think. I don't know what he's going to do now. He came off the bench in the last game, did he? Well, fair enough. He didn't make it in one game, though, didn't he? We've been with Kilimondo, but nothing concrete. Would love him, but nothing official on him. Yeah, we mentioned a while ago we were interested in him, but we're looking for that young striker. We really are. We're trying hard. I think we've got to be patient. Personally, I think I would take Jack Harrison just for the stats of creating 7 chances this weekend, and he's one of the highest creators, which is crazy. But I think we need to be patient. We're not in any rush. We want the right player for the right price at the right time, and I think it's going to be right at the end of the window. In the last 48 hours, that's when you're going to see the rest of our business done. We'll get 1 or 2 new players come in.
Do you know what it is? I was just about to say, look, yeah, right, there's something there. It's a dog.
My cat.
It's a cat.
Oh, it's a cat.
It's a cat.
It's a dog. Oh, it's a dog.
There is she. Oh, he. Hello.
There he is. It's Kylo. He's showing you his arse.
Fantastic.
There you are, look.
Just what we want to see.
Yeah, he likes to do that. There you are. That means he likes you.
I love it. Quick final word from the 3 of you. Mauro, how many players do you think we're going to get in by the end of the window?
2.
Yeah, I agree with that. Lindsay?
2.
Yeah. Gary?
2.
I saw Ekateke, little ET looking face after Messi scored, and it made me ill. Yeah, Messi's bicycle kick was good, to be fair. But yeah, I agree. I think two more players by the end of the window, and I will be very happy. I'm happy anyway. You know, look at the performance.
It's not the end of the world, I don't think, considering it's only until January.
Exactly.
You know.
I think. Do you not think they might be waiting for the World Cup? No, just have a look around and see.
Maybe, but prices go up because of that.
Yeah, but I think the right winger's gone. I don't think they're interested.
Yeah, I don't. I think with Anderson, Fraser, Miggy, Murphy. I know Murphy. I'm not a fan of him either. But I think we've got 4 there to fill the void if anything goes wrong. And I still think we're going to score enough goals to get into top 10. So there could be a loan in there as well. Yeah, loans seem to be very difficult to do.
I've got a. Do you know what it is? I've just got a feeling Broja's going to end up here.
It depends on what he demands in the contract or what Chelsea demand in playing time.
I think it's just taking too long for him to go anywhere, and he's not going to stay at Chelsea. And I think he'll just give up by the end of the window.
Whether Hudson-Odoi as well is another one who's pipped to go out. It depends if he's fit enough. But it's let's just watch. Let's see it unfold. We'll be live for 12 hours on the transfer window deadline day. I think it's a Thursday, the 1st of September. So it's going to be a long day, but it'll be fun. We will be back Thursday night, Fans Forum. Friday, a look ahead. And Saturday, we'll be doing this show again, full time after the Brighton game. Let's hope we get some winners. And look out for our little short video, because I'll be asking everyone for their score predictions, and we're going to create a table and see who gets the most points. So if you can't do a video, guys, still please send me your score prediction so we can find out who knows Newcastle better than anyone when it comes to results. But thanks for joining. Sorry I've kept you so long. It's normally an hour show. It's been an hour and 50. So much to go through. But everyone have a lovely evening, and I will speak to you all again very, very soon. Take care.
Bye.